Nearly 60% of Illinois public school teachers say they've seriously considered leaving the profession. That's according to a survey from the Illinois Education Association. Illinois Capitol Bureau Chief Max Cotton dives into the survey and explains why so many teachers are thinking about a career change.
This slide should set off alarm bells.
That slide says nearly 3 in 5 Illinois public school teachers are thinking about leaving the profession. Illinois Education Association President Al Lorenz says though most surveyed still enjoy teaching, the reason they're thinking about a career change is simple.
They're simply not making enough money.
The survey showed 65% of respondents said they weren't making enough money. The same number also cited a lack of respect for the profession. More than 60% also cited an increasing workload. The survey showed nearly 40% of respondents work at least 10 hours unpaid per week, with nearly 70% saying they spend at least $200 each year for supplies.
Common sense says that if a person has a choice to go into education and they're given a great salary and a great condition of living for their family, they will go there. If they're not, they probably won't.
Lorenz says the other major issue causing people to forego teaching is the tiered pension system. Teachers hired before 2011 are in Tier 1. They can get their full pension by age 55 if they've worked for more than 35 years or by age 60. Tier 2 teachers can't get their full pension until they're 67.
It's simply not fair to have folks working right next to folks that are doing the same job but getting a reduced pension benefit.
He says 2 solutions are eliminating Tier 2, making all teachers Tier 1 employees, and the state putting more money into education funding. In Springfield, Max Cotton, WGEM News.